And here for Rabbit Hole Recap, RIP number 175. Car, I'm getting some feedback in my ear here right now because of the mic. It's just where you put the mic down. Matt, will you stop texting? Will you join us in this conversation, please? What's going on?
I'm retweeting your tweet. I have to do it when we go live.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Is that better?
I'm still getting. Are you getting feedback,
I'm not
Matt?
hearing feedback for what it's worth.
All right, it's just me. Whatever. Let's get into it. How have you been, dude?
Freaks, if you're hearing feedback, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
That's fine. It's fine.
It's them.
Yeah. No, it's fine. What's going on? It's a beautiful day here in Austin. It's noon on Thursday. We're doing it early because we have the Bitcoin block party here tonight in Austin. Car just gave me this shirt. I had my shirt off outside for a while. Maybe I'll do episodes with my shirt off in the future to just harping back to the days of DeRose and John Seth.
If you freaks give us some 10% daily green candles, then Marty will rip it shirtless.
What's going on there, dude? We're hovering.
Capso Del will come out and Marty's nips will come out.
Capso Del, he's been. Where do you have him hiding right now? Is he in a closet? Is he?
Yeah, he's
is he in a basement?
In the closet right now.
Why isn't Marty dancing for devs yet? Did we hit the 10?
He doesn't care.
Did we hit the $10 million bounty? Did we hit the 10 million sat bounty?
No freaks pledge shit.
Yeah, it's on you guys, not me.
It's on
you guys.
1 million sats.
Yeah, we need 9 million sats. It's on you guys, not me. What are you drinking? I'm not drinking. It's too early.
I'm drinking. Well, technically, it's an hour later here. I'm drinking Macallan Blue Bottle.
Ooh, I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Edition number 6. It was a gift.
Big week as always.
Good.
We've got Square changing names.
We got Jack leaving Twitter.
Forgot to mention that. That's pretty big.
Before we get there, this block party looks dope as fuck. So, you're meeting at 5 p.m. for that? I was talking to Carr ahead of time.
Well, Carr is the man with the plan. He's putting it all together. So I'll let him describe what's going on tonight.
Yeah. So basically, here I'll pull up the card cam. Yeah. So basically, starting out at Capital Factory, 6:30. Kyle's going to do the symposium like we usually do, and then we're going to have Ray Liotta mask. So we're going to walk from Capitol all the way to Rainey with Ray Liotta mask, and hopefully somebody takes a picture because that's going to be freaking epic, bro.
And then when we get there, what's going on Rainey Street?
Oshi. So Oshi, the app, is going to basically give 50% sats back, or maybe even more, for everything in that whatever has an Oshi logo on it. You're getting 50% sats back. And then right across the street is Tipsy Alchemist. They're doing sats back all night on all the drinks. So we're going to be partying until like 2 a.m. It's going to be a banger, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Rainey. Rainey was my favorite part of Austin.
Yeah, so if you freaks...
That street is fucking fire.
So you freaks who've never been to Austin, Rainey Street is the it's the mecca of like bachelor and bachelorette parties now. It's where all the bars are. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try and keep it a bit tame. I'm not going to try and get crazy. Car, don't let me get crazy tonight, okay? It sometimes happens when we do this.
Marty's going to go to bed early, but his brother's going to get crazy tonight.
Ha! Yeah, here we go. My brother's got friends in town, too. They were over here last night waking up my child. Timmy, I'm looking at you, okay? All right, let's jump into it. We got a lot to talk about. We'll start with Clark's dashboard, as we always do. Like I mentioned, we've been hovering in the mid-50s range. We're at $56,390. One cuck buck's going to get you 1,773 sats. We're still over $1 trillion market cap at 1.07 trillion. We are currently at block height 712,267. Where are we going next? Next difficulty adjustment is in 1,397 blocks. Right now it's estimated to be a negative 0.5% downward adjustment on December 12th, 2021. Since we last met, we had a downward difficulty adjustment of 1.5%, and that is because blocks were coming in at 10 minutes and 17 seconds, which is 17 seconds slower than the 10-minute block target. Clark's mempool fuller than it was last week, but not too full at 8,982 transactions. Samurai Whirlpool, I think it's up from where we were last week in terms of Bitcoin at 4,349.69 nice Bitcoins. That is a 245.3 million cuck bucks worth of liquidity in that unspent capacity. Big week.
Yeah, let's go.
Like we mentioned, let's start with the difficulty adjustment. We had that downward difficulty adjustment. It was 1.5%.
You know why it happened, right?
Yeah, you don't have it on the list.
Well, why do you think it happened?
Well, so there's many potential factors here.
So the real reason it happened was because I think 3 RHRs ago, me and you agreed that we're just going to have slow and steady upwards difficulty adjustments for the rest of the year, which pretty much locked in a negative difficulty adjustment on the next one.
Insights.brains.com. Insights.brains. Yeah, there we go.
I love this website.
Yeah, this website's great. Disclaimer, Brains is a sponsor of our podcast.
I had Daniel Frumkin on, who's like the brains behind this site.
Yeah.
On Dispatch this week.
Yeah, if you listen to the ad read ever, Daniel Frumps, he was sitting there during the last halving, and he had a bunch of tabs open and was making his computer all hot. He was looking for all these stats, and so he decided to consolidate it in one tab at insights.brains.com.
Brains with 2 eyes.
2 eyes, double I. What are we looking for? Let's see. Difficulty stats. See if they have like historical difficulty adjustments or hash rate changes. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So, yeah, we had that downward difficulty adjustment there. Matt, why do we do it? I think it's a combination. There are still miners in China. I think this is being confirmed. Rainy season's ending, so you have that historical unplugging when the rainy season ends and it gets too expensive.
The
migration. And then on top of that, you have these DNS attacks that took down a lot of the major mining pools that are domiciled in China, mainly F2 pool.
But how long was that? That was like 12 hours or something, right?
Yeah, but no, it was many days. I talked to some people in the mining industry, and a lot of the larger pools were having, they had like a 4-day disruption, some of them, I believe F2 pool. Yeah. In terms of clients not being able to reconnect and stuff like that.
I mean, from a Slush specific point of view, it didn't seem like Slush was getting that many more blocks as a result.
They got up to like 9 petahash. I think they got more petahash. By the way, we have
definitely increased hash.
Car, get him on the.
Oh yeah. All right,
get him on the car cam. We've got a documentary crew here. Introduce yourself, guys.
Hey, I'm Rob. I go by Bitcoin or Movie on Twitter, and this is my local Austin sound man, Ben, over here.
Rob and Ben have been at my house all day. We're recording in a documentary. Was it Bitcoiner underscore movie or on Twitter? At Bitcoiner underscore movie on Twitter. Go check them out. Go check out the pilot that they have, the teaser that they have. They recorded a bunch at Bitcoin 2021. They're going to be recording interviews across the country with Bitcoiners across the world until we hit $100,000. They've got a Tallycoin fundraiser going on as well. You can find that on their Twitter page. It's been a pleasant. Rob, Ben, thank you guys for joining me today. It's been a great morning.
It's been awesome here. Thank you. And we will be at the block party tonight as well.
Yeah.
Oh, badass.
So we'll see you there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See you there.
I just saw we're going to see Brian Harrington. Brian Harrington's in town. I'm pumped to meet him in person.
Fuck yeah, I love that dude.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys have never met.
I'm thinking back. I don't know if we've ever met in person. Maybe we've met once in person. It is amazing, Brian. It is amazing. Yeah. So what do you think this disruption is? Do you think it's just run of the mill? Do you think? So let's describe the DNS attack. I wrote a Ben about it because I was like, oh fuck, is this like a systemic problem that we should be aware of? It doesn't seem to be. It seems like leveraging DNS providers is just a convenience. There are ways to spin up a pool without being dependent on these DNS providers. It is a bit more work, but it's something that wasn't on my radar as an attack vector that I was really thinking about. What were your thoughts on all
Well,
this?
so when you connect to a pool, right, you have all the different stratum servers. Now, I didn't look into this actual DNS attack. I saw that it happened. I saw that it was happening to pools that I didn't really care about. So like I kind of just disregarded it. But when you connect to a pool, right, you have all the different stratum servers you can connect to. Those are obviously publicly accessible internet endpoints, right? And
Yes.
whenever you have any kind of publicly accessible server, you have the ability to denial of service attack it. I don't know if this was a denial of service attack or not. Was this a DNS registry change instead?
Yeah, from what I understand, the CCP went to these DNS providers and like added the pool IPs to the firewall blacklist.
Got it. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's a bunch of different things you can do to take an internet server offline. That's why companies like Cloudflare exist. Obviously, Cloudflare isn't a very good option if you care about sovereignty or privacy because they're a massive honeypot and a central point of failure. But this is why all the good pools run many servers, right? Like if you connect to Slush, there's like 4 or 5, maybe more than that, servers you can connect to. And a lot of miners, what they'll do, they'll even, even on the basic firmware, even if you're not using something like Brains where you can flash it onto your ASIC, even the basic firmware gives you the option to do fallback servers. So some miners will choose fallback servers that are in their same pool, but you can even have accounts open with multiple pools. So like if Slush's 2 servers go down, then the 3rd server can be F2 pool or something.
Yeah.
And then so that kind of insulates the risk a little bit, mitigates the risk a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we're heavily reliant on the internet.
I know. This is why these
And all
alternative
the issues of the internet.
mesh networks freaks, think about them. You should be working harder on them, I believe. Car, can you get back to insights at Brains? Let's look at the pool distribution.
So you think that's? I mean, I
think
guess it's a confluence of factors, but
yeah, I mean, look at that hash rate crash right there. No, the purple line towards the Oh no, that's the price.
that
my
you
bad.
think was the
That's
DNS?
the price.
attack?
Yeah, the yellow line. I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem too
It
far
kind
out
of seems
of,
like the normal variance.
yeah,
shit that's
it
happening.
doesn't seem like a too far out.
I mean, let's be
variance.
honest. Like, what was the negative adjustment? It was like
1.5%.
or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking nothing. It's like a rounding error.
But earlier in the epoch, it was estimated to be like a 2 or 3% upwards adjustment. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Car, can you go down a little bit more too? Yeah, right there. Or not Bitmain. Further. I want to see that. Yeah, here's what I'm looking for. Yeah, so now we have the number 1 pool in the world is unknown. So it seems that some of these pools had to react and are now going anon, which is something you actually like to see. The biggest
Well, no, unknown. It combines everything they don't know.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it could be a bunch combined in there.
Yeah,
And
totally.
Unknown was already at a certain percentage to begin with. That was
Yeah,
like
but it wasn't.
sizable.
It was. I don't think it was anywhere near number 1 a couple weeks ago. Correct me if I'm
wish
wrong,
you could-
freaks.
Does it show change?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Daniel.
7-day change.
Daniel, if you're
What?
listening, yeah, actually,
But anyway, like if you're a large private miner and you don't join a pool and you just do it yourself, you'll show up in the unknown. Or if you're a private pool that doesn't want to notify the network that you are a pool, you show up in the unknown. What a lot of people don't realize is like when we're tracking pool hash, it's all self-reported. So like they put a little identifier in each block they mine to say, this was a slush pool block or this was an F2 pool block. So that's up to them. They could lie. They could say it's a different pool. They can not tell you anything, or they can tell you their actual pool.
yeah. Yeah, they do that in the Coinbase transaction. You mine the block, and you can put a message in the Coinbase, and a lot of these pools self-identify. I don't know if I like it, but then it's interesting. But another interesting thing here with Foundry US pool, they hopped up to number 2 in the world rather
The
quickly.
Coinbase transaction is not related to Coinbase the exchange. Coinbase the
No.
exchange named it after the Coinbase transaction. The Coinbase transaction is the transaction where a miner pays themselves for the fees and the subsidy that they get for each block they mine.
Yes.
FYI, freaks.
And so when you add a block, it's technical learning here. When you add a block of transactions to the network, you get rewarded in Bitcoin, which is released in that Coinbase transaction. But you have to wait 100 blocks before you actually get that.
Which is
that
really
reward.
important during the fork wars.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a nice little game theory there in terms of miners having this incentive to keep building honestly, because they have to wait so long for their money to come in. It's like locked up in the meantime.
It's the small details. Satoshi thought through all this stuff. He thought through a lot of this stuff. He's a smart cookie, that Satoshi Nakamoto. All right,
What do you think about Foundry being number 1 besides Unknown? Because Unknown can't be number 1. It's not really.
I mean, very interesting. I mean, the dynamics of the mining industry have changed pretty drastically over the last year. I went to a Foundry event here in Austin, hanging out with Kevin Young, Yuri.
He's going to be in Nashville.
Mike Coiler, their whole team. I like them. Obviously, their Foundry is a subsidiary of Grayscale and DCG, not Grayscale, DCG, which is owned by Barry Silbert and crew, which were involved with the Segwit 2X Wars, but who knows? I think I like the team. Jay, who's their pool operator, is pretty based. Seems like a hardcore.
They're like the
cypherpunk.
corporate U.S. pool.
Yeah.
And if a pleb gets couple ASICs, can they even sign up to Foundry, or do you have to go to a dinner party in order to mine with Foundry?
I'm not sure.
You have to go. You have to get invited to a dinner party in order to mine with them.
Yeah. Mike Collier, not Coiler. I'm sorry, Mike. It was a great event here in Austin. There was a lot of people. I saw. Stubbs. Yeah, good barbecue. Good conversation. A lot of quality Bitcoiners there. Not going to dox anybody, but a lot of good conversations with people that you like, Matt.
With people that I like?
Yes.
Sweet.
What else is going on?
What a hilarious comment.
They would confirm too. They will confirm.
Doesn't really narrow it down a lot.
That's right.
Do like a lot of people.
All right. So this pool attack, this DNS attack, is something to pay attention to. It'll be interesting if maybe at some point in the future in the U.S., maybe if they are threatened enough by Bitcoin, and they go to Foundry's DNS provider and say fucking yank them.
I would like to see more attacks sooner rather than later.
Agreed.
Because as these attacks happen, then the systems become more robust. If we're just sitting there with a false sense of security, then that sucks.
Yeah. You want this stuff to be brought to the fore earlier rather than later. And so this was interesting, and it happened it happened over Thanksgiving. There weren't many people paying attention. Maybe it was an interesting.
But I mean, the Chinese paying attention. The Chinese don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but maybe they were waiting for a lull in U.S. markets to catch everybody by surprise or something like that. If you were in China, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. That's true. Just get out. If you're mining in China, just get out. Get out. All right. Jack Dorsey left Twitter. Tweeter. He's still tweeting. He's still a tweeter, but he's not the CEO.
Big news.
Big news. What are your thoughts? I've got some thoughts. What are yours?
Horrible for Twitter. Horrible for anyone who relies on Twitter as a platform, including us. And TFTC. I mean, it's our main platform that we use. I don't use any other social media. Great for Jack, great for Square, great for Bitcoin.
I like those thoughts too. Yeah, I think. I mean, we saw pretty quickly. Jack announced he was leaving Monday, Tuesday. Twitter announced policy changes and a bunch of stuff that leads me to believe, and many others, that there's going to be increased censorship on the platform moving forward. It's a shame, like you said. We built our careers and around this app. I'm extremely thankful for the product that Jack Dorsey built and his stewardship of the company for many years. I do think I am a bit worried that, especially me, and I'm not so worried for you, Matt, but for me, in the way I tweet, I think I could have a limited lifetime left on the app. But no, it does.
I mean, I think Bitcoin Twitter is just fucked.
Why Bitcoin Twitter? You think we're all going to just get
Bitcoin Twitter was already kind of fucked. We were already fucked. It just shortened the lifetime even more.
Yeah. It's it'll be interesting to see. All right, this was a great
Which is
piece,
fine.
by the way.
I have like no contingency. If we get banned from Twitter, I'm just not going to use social media anymore.
Well, that's what we've been talking behind the scenes. We're going to supercharge TFTC in 2022. We've got Carr here now, and it's really like, all right.
Behind the scenes, you tweeted it out.
No, but like we've been talking, like we're going to make ourselves more robust from a content distribution standpoint in terms of the podcast and newsletter. We will have to figure out like the social media side of things. We'll probably be on Mastodon and things like that, but it's time to supercharge it. I really want to turn TFTC into a media company that proves that you can do content distribution and monetization a different way by leveraging Bitcoin. That's the goal here in 2022.
Yeah.
We're gonna
cheers to that.
Yeah, we're gonna make it censorship resistant and as possible, and we're gonna monetize it with a censorship resistant network that is Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. We're gonna do it, freaks. My goal is to...
I like Telegram. So we have a comment from a freak saying Telegram and Mastodon. Like, I like Telegram and Mastodon. They both have their issues and trade-offs. I mean, Telegram's completely centralized. They don't have very much censorship, which is good. But it's not encrypted by default. Mastodon just feels clunky. There's not really any network effect there. And I feel like we're just wasting time trying to create a network effect there when something better should come up, and probably will come up. And all the lead devs for Mastodon are a bunch of SJWs. Yeah, I'm not doing the Mastodon thing anymore. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Didn't Mastodon blacklist some community?
They blacklisted NVK.
No agenda. And Adam Curry, I believe.
Bitcoin instance. So the way Mastodon works is it's a federated system. So anyone can run a server. They call them instances. And if they run a server, they're basically like a mini Jack. So like they're the CEO of their server, and they're in charge of the censorship of their server. Then those servers can interact with each other. So it doesn't matter which server you're on. You can run your own server. You can use NVK's server. You can use the main Mastodon server, and they're all intercompatible with each other. I'm pretty sure they blacklisted NVK server. So if you're on NVK server, you can't interact with the main Mastodon server. I'm like 99% sure. And that's the same method that something like PeerTube uses, which is what we leverage for Bitcoin TV, where anyone can run a PeerTube instance and interact across instances, including Bitcoin TV.
Yeah.
And then Telegram's just a centralized company.
Yeah. Hey. We'll see. I think Carr had that Mike Solana article up that was syndicated on Barry Weiss's Substack, and I think he put it beautifully. I think the world and many people who were directing their ire at Jack specifically in reaction to all the censorship that's been going on the platform over the last few years are going to find that maybe he was the last bastion of free speech within the company, holding back the hordes of censorious social justice warriors.
So we have some person in the comments asking about Jack's proposal for decentralizing Twitter. He got it confused. The commenter got it confused with his decentralized exchange. So Square is working on a decentralized exchange that we've talked about on the past on Rabbit Hole Recap. That is called TBD. The decentralized Twitter is called Blue Sky. I'm pretty sure the guy who they chose as CEO was heavily involved with Blue Sky before he became CEO, Parag. I would say, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, so I'll say I'm cautiously optimistic that Blue Sky happens. But in reality, I especially with Jack on, I just do not see it fucking coming to fruition. Why would Twitter? Like, Jack was an idealist, so I was leaving out hope. But why would Twitter move to a platform where they don't have total control? Like, especially the people that are in charge right now, love having total control, lock-in effect, being able to control the network completely, which is short-sighted, but that's how the incentives are set up. So if it happens, fuck yes, that'd be awesome. I've said many times that the ideal way for these platforms to move is a way where any centralized company does not have the ability to censor. And then instead, you basically have filters that you can add on top that give you different experiences based on whatever censorship settings you want. And then if illegal things happen, you just do good old-fashioned police work. I think that is where we're heading. I'm kind of pessimistic on that actually coming from Twitter themselves.
Agreed. I would co-sign that. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm not going to be holding my breath from it. And can we pause to just say how incredibly angelic I look with this lighting?
Is that intentional? Did the documentary guys just turn on a bunch of lights?
No, you can't really control. You can't control the sun too much. It's just the time of day that we're recording. It just so happens that the sun is. Yeah, they're shining down on us today, the Bitcoin gods are. Satoshi is beaming his lights, his ultralight beam on us. Yeah, with that being said, Jack leaves Twitter on Monday, and then yesterday, a big announcement from Square. Square is sort of rolling all of its entities, Cash App, Square Crypto, which is now Spiral BTC, Spiral Bitcoin, TBD, which you just mentioned, and Title as well, into a conglomerate known as Block. I like this move.
And
what are your thoughts?
Square still exists. It's underneath Block.
Square's on it, so it's Block. Then you have Square, Cash App, Title, TBD, Spiral BTC. Yeah,
I dig it.
I did too. I thought it was a really cool announcement. I'm very interested to see. It seems like they got a lot of focus on Bitcoin. They're going full fledged. I love this. This description of what Spiral BTC, making Bitcoin more than investment.
The Square crypto rebrand to Spiral is more significant to me than Square going to Block.
Yes, I agree.
They're both pretty significant.
So here's
I love the work they've been doing at Square Crypto, but every time I heard the word crypto, it just made me cringe a little bit.
Yeah. So spiral.xyz is the website for formerly Square Crypto, now Spiral BTC, or just Spiral. Making Bitcoin more than an investment. Bitcoin is the best money. It should be used like it. We build and fund free open source projects aimed at making Bitcoin the planet's preferred currency. I fucking love it. They're just coming right out. Like, we want a Bitcoin standard. We want to hyper Bitcoinize, and we're going to work towards that. I think it's bold. It's having Square, very bullish, having Square as one of the largest sort of corporate entities and most recognizable corporates in the world, especially on the payments and money side of things, coming out and really putting their balls on the table here and saying, yeah, we want Bitcoin. We're going to work towards that. Like, try and stop us. Yeah,
and then, as Bitcoiners, obviously, the name change to Block, we immediately take it as a signaling mechanism for a focus on Bitcoin, especially with Jack's, inside joke on update tip when he tweeted out the announcement. But I thought it was their whole announcement, their whole tweet thread was just very well done. And it was interesting how they connected the word block, to all their different
Yeah, go to
different goals,
Square's
project
Twitter.
wise.
Yeah.
It's like neighborhood blocks. It's like a block party, right? Like they had like all these different. Obviously, to me, it's just
Yeah.
signaling mechanism to say we're going all in on Bitcoin.
But yeah, no, Carr, if you go to like tweet
Where
2 and
is it?
3,
Carr,
I think.
click that tweet.
No, don't click that tweet. Go below this tweet, like to 2 and 3. There we go. Not to get all meta on you, but we're going to block references the neighborhood blocks where we find our sellers, a blockchain, block parties full of music, obstacles to overcome, a section of code, building blocks, and of course, tungsten cubes. Giving some credit to our boy Nick Carter in Niraj there with the tungsten cubes.
Tungsten's a shitcoin.
It is.
I didn't
it
like
is.
that shitcoin affinity scamming there.
It's a literal heavy bag. Like that's the thing with tungsten. It's very dense and heavy. It's going to be a heavy bag if you're holding a tungsten cube, literally and metaphorically.
Their graphics and everything are just so well done. They do such a good job with it.
Yeah. Shout out. Bringing quality aesthetics to the modern age. Square is. All right, next on the list. We're going down the list here.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
Very exciting.
That was,
congratulations to all of our friends at or Spiral. Excuse me. I gotta get
Block.
I don't have to get at Block, whether it be Cash App, Square, Spiral.
No, you know what I fucking love?
TBD.
There's like a million. It's been a meme in this space for a long time that people aren't very creative with their naming schemes. So there's like a shit ton of block blank companies like Blockchain, Blockworks, The Block, Crypto, The Block Crypto. I don't know. There's like a shit ton of them. And I just thought it was hilarious that like most of them are really butthurt about this name change because they got like front ran after the fact. Right? Like it's like now like when you're typing in their name, the first thing that's gonna come up is gonna be Block, not their company.
Not the Block Crypto. Sorry for anybody at Block Crypto. You should have just simplified it. Kita in the comments had an interesting comment there that I'm interested to get your take on. Spiral.xyz. Are they popularizing the .xyz domain name? And as a domain hoarder, what are your thoughts on that, Matthew? Do you have any XYZ domains?
There's so many suffixes. It's just all shitcoin shit now.
So it's diluting.
Like,
the suffixes are diluting the domain supply.
Yeah, the domain supply is just. I try not to buy domains anymore. I'm trying to downsize my holdings.
Wow, this is a grand admission here on RHR number 175. We lost that motherfucker. God damn it, Matt. I can't wait. Matt's new office has giga fiber, so we should not have him dropping out of these live streams anymore. I believe after next week. Ooh, there he is. I heard him come. To the door. I didn't hear him come. That would be weird. I can't imagine Matt Odelzo face. Probably
What are you talking about while I'm gone? Well, anyway, Freeze, I'll have gigabit internet next week, so lower your fucking time preference.
Just roll over it.
We're gonna gloss past that joke. I'm sorry, freaks, for that visualization. I said, I hear him coming because there's like a little bell that goes off when you enter the room.
I can't wait to re-listen to this one.
Next topic: Bitcoin 2.0 app for Ledger, which adds PSBTs, Taproot support, and multisig. It's a big move for Ledger, which has usually been slow to move. It seems like they're doing all at once with this update.
Love to see it.
Yeah. What do you have anything particular you want to point out with this?
Specifically the PSBTs, the way they're handling PSBTs is really important.
How are they doing it?
They're handling PSBTs now.
Okay.
So like it's actually standardized. They're like using the accepted standard. I don't know. I haven't used a fucking Ledger in like 2.5 years, 3 years. So
Yeah, go down to the PSBT base signing flow section here.
one of the issues they have is on the multi-sig side. Like the Ledger Nano S has like no memory on board. It has like very little fucking memory.
Yeah, because I know
So on the multi-sig side, they had to be like creative about it, which seems like it has a couple trade-offs there in terms of trust. But the PSBT support is the key.
Yeah, because I know Unchained, when they were building Caravan, they had problems with Ledger's multi-sig because it would throw up this warning that would scare users away. So yeah, in regards to PSBT, they've adopted PSBT
Well, that's
v2.
different. That's the derivation path or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
they're
the issue, my understanding is the main issue with Ledger multi-sig was like Ledger wasn't verifying anything on the device. It was just like blindly signing things because it couldn't tell what the XPubs were for your other keys. And now it's actually aware of it.
Yeah. Does Ledger offer a Bitcoin only option yet?
I don't think so.
No, not even like a
The only reason to buy a Ledger is if you want the best shitcoin hardware wallet on the market. You should buy a Ledger.
Better than Trezor.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best shitcoin hardware wallet on the market. Any of my friends that are interested in shitcoins, I tell them to buy a cold card, and for Bitcoin, and then I tell them to buy a Ledger. The new Ledger, they can use it with the mobile app on their phone. What is it called? The Ledger Nano X or something.
Yeah.
Buy that. Use it with use that for your shitcoins. Use cold card for Bitcoin, and then don't reach out to me again until you go do shitcoins.
Yeah, Matt giving shitcoin advice on RHR. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm a very practical friend.
Okay. Yeah.
They'll get burnt by the end of the bull market and they'll learn, right? So
Yeah.
like you give them the warning, and then you're just like, if you do shitcoin, you should hold your own keys.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of holding your own keys, MicroStrategy doesn't, I believe, but they just bought 7,002 more Bitcoins.
Yeah, they do not hold their own keys.
What do we think? Do you think we can meme them into a collaborative custody model at least?
I'm trying to. Did you see my tweet calling them out?
No, I didn't.
I was like, imagine holding 129,000 Bitcoin. It's way down their car. Don't bother. Imagine holding 129,000 Bitcoin and not having the keys to it, or owning. I said owning or something. And then of course there's a bunch of smartasses that were like, they don't actually own it if they don't hold their keys. It's like, I'm aware. I'm just trying to make it.
Our boy Uncle Zach, he had a good tweet that I retweeted. He quote tweeted the announcement of this 7,002 Bitcoin purchase and said MicroStrategy actually holds 0 Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody holds it on their behalf. Michael, if you're listening, I know you think I'm paranoid, but I think you should hold your keys, okay?
Well, I brought this up to Saylor directly
on BTC sessions, right?
Why We're Bullish BTC sessions, the episode that I got way too drunk on. I had been drinking all fucking day. I think it was my most drunk public appearance ever. So I will once again apologize to Ben publicly for getting that drunk. But I did. The first question I asked, I just came out and asked him. I was like, how do you because I think it's a fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders to secure those keys. If you're holding them with a large regulated custodian and something happens to them, like your shareholders are going to start asking questions. At the same time, obviously, if you hold your own keys and you lose them, that would be horrible as well. So I think collaborative custody could be the ideal solution, at least in the beginning, for these corporations to get their toes wet. And I think that MicroStrategy, out of all companies, should be leading the way here, right? Like they have a substantial amount of Bitcoin. Like if you have $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, like you can afford a 10-man team to develop a self-custody solution that works for you. You know, you don't have to hold all the keys. You can do multi-sig. You can give them to third-party auditors and stuff to hold a key here or hold a key there. You can split it amongst, different people in your C-suite. So not, Sailor's not walking around with like a fucking cold card with all of his fucking keys on it. Coinbase figured out how to do it themselves. Kraken figured out how to do it themselves.
Gemini.
Binance figured out how to do it themselves. FTX figured out how to do it themselves. Why can't MicroStrategy figure out how to, have, some insight into their Bitcoin and actually hold their own keys?
Yeah, and leverage the native properties of the protocol, the innovative, revolutionary properties of the protocol, which allows you to take possession of your keys and to actually hold and have control of your Bitcoin. Like it doesn't make. I agree with you. I think they should be working to figure out a way where they can hold keys that give them access to what's the total amount they own now? 102,000 Bitcoin?
I think it's 129,000
129,000. Holy shit. Dude.
Like, I can't sleep at night when I have like 1 million sats on an exchange. Like I'm like, those 1 million sats are gone forever until I withdraw them. Like they're just fucking.
Yeah, I know. But props where props are due. We're not giving props. We're sort of ragging on you, Michael, for not holding your own keys. But you did crush on the Tucker Carlson show. That was
the Tucker Carlson interview was really good. I put that I led it on Dispatch.
This clip particularly, I actually really like the metaphor he used for energy density and steel production and the energy density that goes into producing Bitcoin and preserving Bitcoin. I thought that was a really, really cogent and strong analogy that he used. But yeah, I think he orange pilled Tucker pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, that much was obvious.
Yeah.
And I think Tucker is like probably one of the most watched news shows in the country.
The most easily. Yeah. I think he gets like 3 or 4 million viewers a night.
So there you go. That's fucking massive. And also, like, obviously it takes balls to hold 129,000 Bitcoin and try and corner the market single-handedly. So cheers to that. But not your keys, not your coins. And MicroStrategy is a tech infrastructure company. Like, they provide tech infrastructure for other companies. It should be like a perfect fit for them to develop storage solutions that work well for large corporations, including themselves. Like, if they're not racing towards that, then I don't know, what they're doing. I assume they are behind the scenes.
All right. I didn't want to go here, but I want to go here. Car, I just put something in our Telegram. Tinfoil hat Marty's coming out.
I didn't want to go here, but I'm going to go here. Uh-oh.
What do we think about this? What do we think about this? So go up to the tweet above this. Michael Hartle tweeted, "One of my uncles was ostensibly an executive at a major oil company, only he wasn't. It was actually his cover as an agent for the CIA. If your model of reality doesn't include intelligence agents in major industry and media organizations, you're missing something big." And then somebody responded under this tweet with a screenshot of a Google Maps directions from MicroStrategy's office to the CIA office headquarters, which is apparently 11 minutes away. Again, could be just a coincidence. Maybe, I don't even know if it's true. Somebody could have just made that screenshot up. We do need to verify if that's true.
But what does that mean, though, Marty? Like,
I don't know. It doesn't mean if it is true. It just means that the offices are very close. Like, what does the proximity of those offices mean? I don't know. Probably nothing. Most likely nothing. But if we're being adversarial thinkers here, and we're just thinking through these possibilities. Matt's coming again. Maybe something you should factor into adversarial thinking. Again, we're not saying this by any means. That is a fact, but it would be interesting. Interesting social attack. Get somebody to corner the market. Get almost 130,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, so I got disconnected again.
Yes.
I've switched to mobile.
Thank you.
So hopefully this is the last week. This will be the last week that we have to deal with this. So I apologize to the freaks and Marty and Carr and the documentary crew again.
Carr, pull the tweet back up, please, so Matt can comment.
No, I saw the tweet beforehand. MicroStrategy is located super close to the CIA.
Yeah.
They have like a ton of government contracts as well.
Yeah.
So like does Michael Saylor, like, is he on a first name basis with a ton of government people? 100%. Like 100%. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. Good thing Bitcoin's for enemies, and good thing it's not a proof of stake system. Holding more Bitcoin does not give you more power over the network. It would explain why he's not worried about government seizure in his custody strategy. So you can give him some more credit on not holding his own keys in that situation. But there's more risk than just government seizure when it comes to not holding your own keys. And that's the company fucking you over, the company fucking up themselves. Those are the main two ones. So you should, even if you're a government, you should not outsource it to a third party, I would say.
I would concur.
And then the other one who I've always been suspicious of from distance from Langley was Ellen Big, because of all of his servers. Ellen Big controls, like, at least at one point, like 50% of the capacity on the Lightning Network. But I was talking to the Simple Bitcoin Wallet maintainer who is sponsored by Ellen Big. And take it as you will, but he does not think he's a government agent.
That's what a government agent would want you to think.
I know, but I have him on air. I asked the question. But what more can I do but ask the question?
I know. Same here. We're just presenting. I don't even know if it's a fact. I have not been able to verify if that's where their headquarters is, but
no, they definitely are headquartered there. I think that is not a conspiracy.
Okay. All right, very interesting.
And they have a shit ton of government contracts. You can see, like, a huge amount of the revenue historically has been government contracts.
Yes. Right.
Look, there's a reason why Michael Saylor comes out and says, this is an attack on gold, not on the U.S. dollar.
Yeah. Again, props for props are due. You fucking crushed it on Tucker Carlson. That was
Look, if Michael Saylor is building up a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the U.S. government, there's worse things. I prefer my government not be Bitcoin poor when hyper-Bitcoinization happens, because that's when they come and try and take all your Bitcoin.
Yeah, but isn't Bitcoin supposed to, like, dissolve the power of the state and the government?
Not the smart ones.
Huh? Matt thinking 4 steps ahead.
It definitely takes away. It still takes away the government. Even if a government has Bitcoin reserves, it takes away their ability to just print at will, so that they have to do taxes and bonds and stuff in order to. Like, I went to the World War II Museum in New Orleans, largest World War II museum in America, and they had all this propaganda from World War II out that was like, buy war bonds, finance the war effort. And, like, back then, you actually had to ask the people that you represented to help fund your war effort. Now you just, like, have, like, 7 people in a room decide that you're going to fund the war effort and just sign some papers, and then boom, done.
Well, and this is another reason why we should really be harping and beating the drum of self-custody and collaborative custody, because in that world, like, you want to make sure there's no rehypothecation, so you need to normalize the collaborative custody model so that people that are allowing the issuance of these bonds or whatever, like, are able to confirm that the collateral within there is where it's supposed to be. And you do that by holding a key and being able to verify yourself.
I don't think that's what's happening with the volcano bond.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think Bukele likes holding the keys himself, but no one else has access to them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, we need to demand the stuff. Normalize it, freaks. Normalize it. This is something very in line with, or not in line, this is something that I'm sure made you happy. Silent Link adds support for U.S. burner phone numbers.
This is fucking
eSIMs.
massive.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's anonymous eSIM provider, Silent.
So do you know what an eSIM is, Marty?
Yeah, it allows you to buy a SIM card, a digital SIM card, right? That you can.
Right. So, like, like in your phone, you have, like, the little SIM card that you stick in that has, like, your phone number and everything.
Yes.
An eSIM is a digital version, so you don't have the little card. And Android supports it. I don't know if iPhone supports eSIMs. Calyx supports eSIMs. Android, as default, supports eSIMs. If you use Calyx, de-Googled Android, supports eSIMs. Graphene does not support eSIMs yet. I think they're going to soon. But anyway, if you have a Calyx phone, you remove Google from it, you say, okay, now my biggest issue is that I have a KYC SIM, KYC phone number. I'm using like T-Mobile or Sprint or something, and they know my billing address. They know every location I go to through cell phone triangulation. I would really like to have a burner. The common recommendation is, okay, go into one of those stores, one of those cell phone stores, ideally like the immigration-owned small business cell phone stores where they don't keep as good records, and pay with cash. Now, that is obviously a hurdle. There's a lot of nuance there. With this, you pay with Bitcoin, and you just you scan a QR code, and the eSIM gets automatically transferred to your phone without any shipping or anything. They don't take any email addresses, no phone number, obviously no phone numbers, no personal information. You just pay with Bitcoin and you get it. Now, the issue with Silent Link in the past has been that they only had UK numbers. Now they have US numbers that start with 1, like a US based phone number. The major trade-off that you have is that it doesn't do outbound calls for whatever reason. So you can't call from the device, but you can receive calls, you can receive text, you can send text, you get data, you can use all the telephony services, like you can do Signal voice calls, you can do Telegram voice calls, and it's prepaid, so you pay per use. So like as you're using data, as you're using text messages, as you're using calls, you pay for that additional. So it's $60 for the year. I think it's very reasonably priced. And then after that, the main thing is data cost. Data cost comes out to about $12.50 a gig, which is fairly priced, I think. I mean, I think like Google Voice, obviously you're all a Google Fi, you're like completely doxxed. And I think that's like $10 a gig. So for a privacy focused solution at $12.50, like that's pretty good. I don't know. I wonder how long this service will last though, because I cannot imagine how fucking difficult it is to get wholesale numbers.
Yeah, because right now, for you freaks at home who are listening, can't see this like on the screen. They only have 15 numbers in stock.
So every 45 minutes they add more.
Okay.
So it keeps selling out and then repopulating. Mm-hmm. But like obviously the dev behind this is very privacy focused. So the big choke point is him or her being able to acquire more numbers without doxing themselves. So there is some question if it's, a government operation, which it could always be. I mean, obviously you are trusting this provider with personal information in terms of location based on your cell phone triangulation data. But at the end of the day, like if you're using like a T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, or whatever, we already know they have partnerships with all the governments. So, and they have your billing address, they have your name, they have everything else. So this is a clear net benefit. You shouldn't 100% trust it, but it's a massive improvement in terms of being able to easily access new phone numbers, being able to rotate them very easily without having to give up personal identifiable information.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the Silent Link team. US numbers available now. Go check it out.
This is massive, though. That is like install Calyx, get an eSIM from Silent Link. You've improved your privacy significantly, and then throw out the phone every year and do it again. And like if you do that, you have like reasonable improvement in privacy with very, with less gotchas than the previous situation.
I mean, you don't have to throw out the phone. You could just get a new eSIM, right?
No, because the phone still has an IMEI.
Oh.
So like they might be able to, if there's shit going on, they might be able to track you from eSIM to eSIM. So just throw out the phone. The Pixel 4a right now is 1 million sats, I think. It's like not that bad. That's like it's like $500. So it's like 800,000 sats. Like I feel like for privacy, if it's a surveillance, instead of having a surveillance device in your pocket, you pay like $500, $400 a year. It's going to go down in terms of sats prices every year.
Yeah. Seems
not
reasonable.
a bad deal.
Seems reasonable. All right, freaks, beware. be aware. Go check out Silent Link. We have software updates here, but first we're going to go to one of our favorite sections of the week. Shout-outs. We got shout-outs.
Andre is asking me about micro G on Calyx. I literally spent like 3 hours talking about mobile phone privacy with Seth for Privacy on Citadel Dispatch. So if you just open up your favorite podcast app, go to TFTC and just type in mobile phone privacy into the search bar, it should pull up the episode number. I don't remember what it is. It's like 30 something.
Yes. Go check it out. We've got many shout outs this week. First one, I think it was sent towards the end of last episode. I am a monkey who loves to dance for the devs, yet I am a free monkey. What monkeys will stand with me? For I am so mighty, my strength will flow to thee. Join us and transcend these rubes, these stooges, these charlatans. Let the power of Bitcoin compel you. Be aware, bread and circuses. It's an interesting one. Again,
He's calling you out for not dancing for devs.
Again, I said I'm not doing it unless Matt does it with me, and he won't do it with me unless we get 10 million sats.
And we need to get it by December 8th, the National Bitcoin
by next
Day.
Wednesday. So it's up to you, freaks. It's not on my shoulders. It's on yours. So next shout out. Sup, sovereign Diegoites, Diegoins, Diegoans? No, sovereign Dagans. SD Bitcoiners are having our last meetup of the year at Quantum Brewery in Kearney Mesa. Come by and grab a beer. You can pay for your tab in Bitcoin on the Lightning Network. Have questions about the easiest way to get started saving in Bitcoin? Want to learn how to improve your privacy, security, or self-sovereignty? We may not have all the answers, but we know people who do. Check us out on Twitter at SDBitcoiners, meetup.com/SDBitcoiners, or on Matrix at SDBitcoiners:matrix.org. Cheers and happy stacking. Corey San Diego at Inpharmacist, INPHARMATICIST on Twitter, and he's got signatures to prove who he is.
I love that dude.
Signatures.corey, COREY.LOL/112920119153five.txt.
Did he sign it? Is it a PGP signature?
There's no PGP signature, but if we want to go check the
So that doesn't
signatures.
really help us at all.
No, it doesn't, Corey. You forgot the PGP signature.
Well, anyway, Corey, I love you, bro. Cheers
Love
to
you.
you and cheers to San Diego Bitcoiners.
Love you too. Love you too. And here's a shout out. If you're in San Diego and you want to go meet up and drink beers and learn about Bitcoin, Lightning, sovereignty, go check out the meetup.
That reminds me, though. He mentioned Matrix. They have a Matrix room.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about a post-Twitter world, like, I really like this idea, at least in the short term, medium term. So, like, Twitter is a one-to-many platform, right? Like, you're broadcasting to many people from a single person. And it's all public. It's all, it's a broadcast platform. I really like the idea of these smaller groups and group chats. They're just inherently more censorship resistant. And even if there's no encryption, because they're not broadcast publicly, there's a little bit of additional privacy there, like less notice that's happening from the public. So I see people slowly moving to those. We see that happening with Telegram already. But end-to-end encrypted, more censorship resistant options, Matrix is completely distributed. You can run your own server. We have Bitcoin Q&A running a server. We have Diverter running a server. So Matrix offers a really good option there. It's easy to integrate it with other services. You can have it cross-post directly to Telegram and Discord. But yeah, I also really like Threema for group chats, which is open source and end-to-end encrypted.
Yeah.
I think the group chat thing is I like the groups. That makes sense to me.
I do
a
as
lot
well.
of small groups.
Yeah, I've used the Matrix Element client too. It's really good. It's very good UX UI too. It's pretty.
I think Apple banned it from their app store.
Really? What the hell's going on?
It was either Apple or Google.
Why can't we just communicate here? Why can't we just create these apps and these groups to just talk? Apple, tech giants, Like Silicon Valley tech giants, you're on your way out. Okay, if you keep it up and you don't enable freedom in the digital age, do you want to be the despots, the tyrants, the Luddites, the Orwellian freak shows that lead us down a desperate path, or do you want to be remembered as heroes that enabled freedom in the digital age?
The nice thing about Android is you can easily install apps outside of the App Store. So like Element, you can just download the APK and install it without needing the App Store. But regardless, I mean, it is kind of funny that we'll spend hours on this show. Like, what is this? This is Rabbit Hole Recap 175. So we've done 175 weeks straight of this show. And I think we skipped 1 week like early on and that we felt really bad about. But essentially 175 weeks straight where we talk about all these different like edge cases and stuff. But at the end of the day, like if Apple took Bitcoin wallets off the App Store, like 99% of people would just not have the initiative to go around it. even though they could, they would just be like, it's too difficult. I'm just gonna use Robinhood. I'll trust Robinhood with my Bitcoin. They're already holding my Tesla stock. It doesn't really matter.
Their loss. They're going to lose their freedoms.
They'll learn. They'll get burned and they'll learn.
Yeah, they'll learn. But again, how do you want to be remembered? You tech giants? Do you want to be remembered as the evil assholes that tried to enslave humanity and censor free speech? Or do you want to be remembered as heroes that enabled free speech? I think the former is, unfortunately for you, what you're going to be remembered as. But we're at a critical point in human history. We're at an inflection point, and the decisions you make today will dictate how you're viewed in history. Because history is written by the winners, and Bitcoiners are going to win. So don't bet against us. Next shout out.
I just have one correction. In the future, I think the saying will be history is written by the Bitcoiners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. History is written by the Bitcoiners. It's in the ledger. The ledger's history of what's going on is objective truth. And we're going to write that truth because we're going to win. And we will be gracious. We will be gracious. We will trend to enabling freedom everywhere. I like to think, at least.
We'll only be benevolent dictators.
Somebody in fucking mainstream journalism is going to take that blurb.
There's so many fucking out of context clips you can take from this show. It's just good thing we don't have to rely on fucking fiat jobs.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise it'd be canceled to fucking kingdom come.
I am unhirable at this point. Thank you, 1031.
Completely unhirable.
Next shout out. My favorite moment this year was when Marty declared Pete Clown World. Bruh! I know you're accustomed to Bitcoin pullbacks of 50, 70, even 90%, but Clown World never pulls back. Senor Odell was 100% right about Clown World pumping forever. Forever, Laura. Get some rest, Matt. You're too young to be exhausted all the time. Love you, Marty. Love you, Matt. Stay humble, freaks.
Cheers to that.
It was probably the worst call of my life. Probably the worst call of my life.
I don't know. There's a lot of... we've made a lot of calls.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely up there, though.
Yeah, it was a bad one. It was a very bad one.
You like immediately regretted it. It was like 48 hours later. You're like tweeting. You're like, I shouldn't have called that. That was a bad idea.
It was a bad idea. It's only getting more ridiculous.
To be clear, I don't think Clown World. Bitcoin's designed to pump forever. Clown World isn't designed to pump forever, but it's got a lot of juice left in it. You know, it's still got a long way to go, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is an element of darkness here. I think the darkness is inevitable, but we can shorten the period of darkness. We can make the darkness better for our friends and family, and like that should be the goal. But at the other side, there's light.
Agreed. I mean, we have people freaking out about Omicron.
Dude, you want to talk about the single call that was the best call I've ever made on this show multiple times? Was traveling before it's too late.
Yes, that was a very good call.
And I mean, I was like wrong on the scale. Like I did not think it was going to happen so quickly. But I was like, I woke up this morning. I saw like the news out of Europe, and I'm so fucking grateful. I feel so fortunate that I like extensively traveled around the world before all this bullshit happened. And even then, I feel like I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah.
I
It's a shame.
definitely
borders
did.
feel like the borders are closing.
Yeah, I mean, Canada, you can't get on a plane or train without a vaccine now, without a passport. What happened in Europe? What particularly? I don't know if I saw that news.
But they're like implementing mandatory vaccines in a lot of places.
Yeah. Ah, now Uncle Marty's getting heated. You see, like,
And then like the rumor is that the Biden administration is going to make it so even if you're a vaccinated American, you're going to have to do, I think, 7 days quarantine when you come. Like the restrictions are getting implemented, and they're going to only get worse, and then they're never going to get pulled back out.
unless we stand up and start fighting against this tyranny
No,
and this
you
bullshit.
just have to afford private jets. Once we can afford private jets and blimps, then there's no restrictions. The restrictions are only on the plebs.
All right, everybody go auto stack right now. Market buy. Go
It's a
market
private
buy.
jet stack.
Private jet stack. I want to see your private jet stacks on Twitter. Just kidding. Don't dox yourself. But
My goal basically right now is like to basically just travel around America by car. Because I don't think they don't have the resources to close borders by vehicle. I imagine domestic travel by air will get more difficult, which it has, but it'll get even more difficult. And travel by car, wait out, hope that Bitcoin appreciates in purchasing power as I expect. And then we can just take airships everywhere.
I like that. I like that idea. But still, with that being said, it can't hurt to stand up against this tyranny. I mean, it's fucking asinine what's going on.
How do you
right
even
now.
stand up against that?
Call it out? Like,
Yeah, we could do that. And then we'll get banned from Twitter now.
yeah. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You will not like it. I'm not.
And
gonna
then we'll
say
call it
I'm
out on
gonna-
the podcast, and we're going to get banned from Anchor.
I'm gonna
Which, by the
restrain
way,
myself.
I have to say, freaks, by the way, like the day that Spotify every year releases the podcast rankings, like your own personal which podcast you listen to the most, is like quietly one of my favorite days of the year. It's just the love that you guys send us and just being there with you guys really does mean the world to me. That's why we do this. But at the same time, like you really should not be listening to podcasts through Spotify. Like it is a surveillance app. Like consider a podcasting 2.0 platform. If not that, use AntennaPod, which is free and open source podcasting app.
Matt says this as he admitted to me a couple weeks ago. They love Spotify too. So
I mean, I use Spotify for music because I'm a fucking completely trapped in that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And
same.
when I get a proper home, I'm going to start building a local music collection again.
Hell yeah.
So I'll try and escape that. But for podcasts, there's no reason to use Spotify. There is zero benefit to using Spotify.
Fountain is fire. Disclaimer: I am an investor in Fountain, personally.
Fountain is fucking awesome. I am not an investor in Fountain, and it is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So Fountain and Breeze with a Z, are my two favorite podcasting 2.0 apps.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a big fan of Sphinx too. I think the tribe aspect in there, being able to talk and chat with freaks about the episodes is great as well.
Just need some updates, but I love those guys.
Yeah.
And then AntennaPod, as I said, AntennaPod is a free open source podcasting app. Highly recommend that app. It is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. But Matt, you keep drifting me away from the point I'm trying to make here. Is like there's fucking internment camps in Australia. They're fucking rounding up Aborigines and putting them in internment camps, and then
Well, they're rounding up white people too and putting them in the internment camps.
that as well. And did you see the headline earlier this week? 3 people decided, hey, I don't want to fucking live in an internment camp. I'm a free and sovereign individual. They escaped. The cops hunted them down, tested them. They were negative. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is going on?
Why were they in it to begin with? They're like, and then we put them in 14-day quarantine.
Yeah, it's and there's not even that many cases. There's not that many cases in Australia. There's not that many deaths. Like, what's going on in Australia is very scary. Then in Canada as well. Like, what's going on up there? They're constricting travel.
Children. Why do we have Children of Men up?
This is a very good movie. Yeah. My wife does not like that. This is one of my favorite movies. So I'm like, we're watching.
This movie's a fucking classic.
Yeah.
Instant classic movie.
Clive Owen crushes it in this movie.
But that's what's going on.
Yeah.
No spoilers. Go watch it if you haven't watched it.
Yes.
Children of Men.
My wife does not like it. It makes her sad. But it does have an optimistic ending. That's the only spoiler we'll give you. Yeah.
You know, Anchor censored one of the Dispatch episodes, right?
I didn't.
Because Anchor is owned by Spotify.
Well, they censor one of the Whitney Webb episodes too, then, because Spotify.
No, like in the RSS feed, Citadel Dispatch episode 7 doesn't exist. You can still catch it on Bitcoin TV, citadeldispatch.com/CD7, but they removed it from both of our podcast feeds.
What happened? What were you guys talking about?
It was the self-hosting episode with Catan.
Why would they?
But that's not why they removed it.
They
removed it because I ended it with Elton John's Rocket Man.
Yeah.
If I was Pomp, I would just pretend that they were trying to censor self-hosted discussion.
Rocket
But still,
Man.
you can feel you can feel the creep. You can feel the creep coming in.
Yeah. Hey, Elton, just open source that shit, man. You made enough money. You made enough money, Elton. Sir Elton John.
It was funny because it was the self-hosting episode.
Yeah. Again, you keep drifting me off. You keep drifting me off. I'm trying to have a rant about tyranny here, and you're like, oh, it's like Elton John's Rocket Man got me kicked off of Anchor. It's fucked.
But look,
This Omicron thing too. Like, how racist was this? You're not allowed to call it, like, Trump wasn't allowed to call it, like, the Wuhan flu or whatever. Now it's like the Omicron variant from South Africa. And that's not even accurate. What happened was you had South African scientists isolate and identify
they're like
the variant.
They're like really good at this shit.
Yeah.
They figured it out first.
They figured it out first, and like the whole global community is like, oh, stay away from South Africa. It's like, no, these people just identified and made the rest of the world aware that it exists. It's not like it's spreading around down there. And
it's an excuse to close borders.
Yeah.
It's closing borders. Like failed states have tried to close their borders throughout history. That is you don't want the wealth to escape.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why Bitcoin is going to be like a primo target. Like Bitcoiners and Bitcoin is going to be like an insane target.
Come and take it. Like it's exactly. It's an eternal pandemic. Like this is insane that this is censored by Twitter. Like this woman. Let's play the whole video.
Wait, did you get censored for this tweet?
No, I had to quote tweet Petrov
because you couldn't retweet
because I couldn't retweet
comment.
it. Yeah. Let's play it. So this is a World Health Organization whistleblower, Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger, trying to warn people about what's going on here. They want an eternal pandemic. There's always going to be a new variant. It's a fucking virus. Viruses mutate.
They mutate to be more communicable, but less deadly over time. That's the incentives. That's the virus incentives. We talk about incentives a lot on this show.
Yeah, viruses want to survive. They don't want to kill their host, because then they don't have anywhere to live. So they mutate, and they get less severe over time. Take a class on communicable diseases, which I did in college. So if anybody's like, "Oh, Marty,
did you really take a class on communicable diseases?"
Yeah. It was called the History of Emerging Diseases.
Do you remember who your teacher was?
I don't. He was a great man, though. He was
a great man, but not memorable.
That was my freshman year in college.
Well, teach. If you're listening right now, Marty would love to have you on the podcast.
I would. But we're gonna play this video of this World Health Organization whistleblower. 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
It's just going to go on forever because what they're doing, you can see it happening now. It's that those who got vaccinated thought that the vaccination would liberate them. And on the opposite, they're vaccinated, they're dependent on what they call the mutation. They are using this as a gimmick. So they say, oh, every mutation, always with the wrong test. There's a mutation, a new vaccine. So not only people have to make 2 vaccines now, which is also unprecedented with a experimental injection, but now they have to keep on wearing masks and they have to keep on doing lockdown and distanciation. It doesn't solve anything. They think they're going to travel, but then they will have an ID vaccine passport that will force them to get vaccinated regularly so they can control them more and more, their health, maybe eliminate them. It's really criminal. So the fact that we see that the plan is done for 2031 in the papers of the government, and you have to look for it, is already a plan. The other sign is that Johns Hopkins University has issued a pandemic plan for SPARS 2025, 2028. So they will not stop. They will keep on, as long as people believe, they're going to make them believe SPARS and everything, and every flu is going to be transformed in a drama drumming. So every flu, you're sick and you're going to die. And people are so afraid of death. They think that they give their life risk to people who lie to them. They believe in a government that lies to them. So they're using fear. And those who are fearful and don't change will probably, unfortunately, die. So I'm just, calling people to wake up and take back your health. Don't believe in the government. They are creating a perpetual pandemic. It's an eternal pandemic. This is the worst nightmare you can have, is to be in perpetual fear your whole life.
Yes.
So
Who is this woman? World Health Organization?
Whistleblower, Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger.
Was she formerly World Health Organization?
Yes, but that's the thing too. Like she mentions it. Like they go over this with Whitney Webb. Like they write this shit down. Like it's public information. They have plans to do this shit like for many years into the future, and it's never going to end. They're leveraging fear. It's a fucking classic tactic of despotic and tyrannical regimes. They use fear and propaganda to leverage you to do certain things that they want you to do. And right now, they want you locked down. They don't want you thinking clearly. They don't want you thinking freely. They don't want you communicating or traveling to organize with other individuals. They are losing power. They fucked up the financial system. They fucked up the money so bad. It is going to be a disastrous. They're trying to avoid a disastrous collapse of the global financial system, and they need to clamp down on control. And they're using this virus and everything that comes after it, all the variants, to fearmonger you. Again, viruses mutate naturally. There's going to be an Omicron. There's going to be a G. There's going to be a Delta, a Zeta, whatever. They're going to keep coming. It's going to keep mutating. And you can't sit there and freak the fuck out every time a newly named variant comes out and use that as an excuse to stay in your house or wait for another booster and to put your mask back on. It's never going to end unless you fucking stand up and you say, I've had enough. I'm not afraid of death. Death is going to happen to all of us. We're all going to fucking die. Do you want to live in fear? Do you want to live your life the way we've lived for the last 2 years into perpetuity? If you don't stand up and say, you know what? I would rather fucking die than live the way that humans have the last 18 months. Like, I'd rather live freely for the next 2 months and fucking die at the end of that 2 months than stay fucking masked up and constricted in my house, unable to go travel and visit my family and travel the world. It's never going to end. It's never going to end unless people stand up. You are like Iceman from Top Gun. Matt's spinning his pen right now. Spread the message to your crazy
Personal
aunt.
responsibility, freaks.
Spread it to your crazy Aunt Susan, who's like, "Oh, Omicron's here. You need to wait for the 4th booster." Like, Aunt Susan, baby, honey, it's all going to be okay. We're all going to die. You can't be afraid of this virus. It's invisible. And like Dr. Ingrid said, they're going to start doing this with the flu too. They're going to start doing it with every little communicable disease. Because again, the fear works. It obviously works. Fucking the virus is nowhere near as severe as something like the 1918 flu or the Black Death. And yet we locked down the whole world of billions and millions of people. And now they know.
I mean,
they know that the fear works. They know that the fear works, and they're going to keep trying to leverage it.
The fear has worked forever, Marty.
But I don't think they've realized how effective it is.
Are you kidding me? I mean, if we're talking about travel restrictions, like September 11th, they hit us with travel restrictions. I mean, not to this degree, right? But the whole TSA thing got implemented after that. You had to like give up all this, private information and also just like human dignity in terms of actually traveling in order to travel after that. We had the Patriot Act where they decided that it was not against the Constitution to just completely wholesale surveil the whole population. And this is the next step of that process.
How much are you going to take?
I think it's very important. It's very important for people to realize that this is a bipartisan issue in America. Like this is something that both establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans can agree on, that we can hit you with fear and we can take away your civil liberties and we can subjugate you. And I would add, though, on the positive side, because we've been pretty
black-pilled
down in the dumps for the last 20 minutes. On the positive side, I am very grateful that I'm in America, where I can get into a car and I can drive to a place that is not crazy, that I can walk around without a mask, where I'm not getting checked for vaccine status. I feel for our people that are in Austria right now, that are in Germany. I'm pretty sure Germany just implemented something similar, where they're going for mandatory vaccinations, where they're saying that people might be imprisoned if they don't comply, and they don't have an easy way out without crossing international borders, right? Like, it really shows the power of states' rights in America that, look, at the end of the day, like, if you're fine with being locked down, if you're fine with vaccine mandates, you can stay in whatever state you're in, or you can move very easily to a state that has different priorities.
Yeah. That's what I did. That's why I'm down here in Texas. That's why I'm looking at the beautiful car across from me, because I'm able to be here in Texas. I think Matt's making a similar move soon. And it is, again, I agree there, Matt. We are lucky that we live in America and we have these autonomous states that some of which are willing to stand up and protect civil liberties and freedoms in today's day and age. Let's hope that it stays that way. The federal government does not like it. You're seeing Biden begin to posture and Fauci begin to posture, saying things like there are certain governors that are picking freedom over health and stuff like that. They're going to put a target on people like DeSantis and Governor Abbott here in Texas, and they're going to villainize them, and they're going to try and get them to bend the knee. But I will say Governor DeSantis, Governor Abbott, and other governors throughout the country who are standing up for civil liberties, do not bend the knee. We are here. We appreciate what you're doing. And if push comes to shove and they try to force you to bend the knee, fucking secede. This is freedom is hard to find these days, and luckily we do have it in parts of the United States. Yes, Matt's moving to Austin. He's actually moving in. We're going to start living together in this house.
I don't always dox my location, but when I do, it's Marty.
Yeah. Lines are being drawn. Yeah, look what's going on in fucking France too. Like, you think the Germans and the French would learn? Like the pictures and videos of cops going into restaurants in France and scanning vaccine passports. It's like, have you never watched a World War II documentary? Like, what the fuck is going on, people? Like, you're like, oh, it's necessary. Like, there's literal internment camps in Australia. They're fucking rounding up people and putting them in camps. Like,
so like we mentioned briefly the Twitter censorship policies that got implemented as soon as Dorsey left. And one of them is that official policy of Twitter is we cannot post pictures or videos of people without their permission. And Twitter, for better or for worse, I mean, they've had a lot of censorship issues over the last 5 years, but they have been a major platform in terms of exposing authoritarianism and exposing government overreach. And technically, now, per their policy, they can selectively ban accounts that post police officers doing shit like that. Or even, there was an American police officer thing. Did you see where their house got broken into?
You kicked the dog?
Captured someone on camera. They captured a police officer on camera kicking their fucking dog.
yeah, it was fucked up, dude. And it was something like they saw somebody like trying to break into their house.
That's against Twitter's fucking policy.
Yeah. And so that particular situation was the person was away. The neighbor said, hey, I think someone's trying to break in your house. They called the cops like, hey, I think someone's trying to break into my house. We're not there. The cops show up. And the dog, trying to scare away strangers, gets fucking kicked multiple times by
Like
this
a little
cop.
dog.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
fucked up.
big dog.
It's another thing too. Like, it's nuanced topics. Like, police, like, you need police, but you also need police who are well-tempered and not fucking psychopaths. Like, we need better training. We need better
They should
screening.
be paid well. They should be
Yeah.
held accountable.
Yeah, all that shit. Software updates. We need to get off of these
Wait.
negative vibes.
Wait, we're done with the shout outs?
Yeah, we're done with the shout-outs.
This weekend, I know.
Oh wait, no, we're not done with the shout-outs. We do have one more. We got on a wide tangent there. Last shout-out.
Boom.
Shout out to my little sister who is opening a school in Austin this weekend. Just opening your own school would be worthy of a shout out by itself, but this story is much bigger than that. Prior to this new venture, she had a job she loved at a school she loved, teaching kids she loved, but all that changed earlier this year. Her bosses told her she had to get the COVID vaccine to continue being employed. She refused and said, "Fire me." At that moment, she decided she would open her own school. I've never been so proud of her, and the world needs more people like her who will stick by their morals no matter what the cost. It goes without saying, opening a new business is very stressful in and of itself, but throw the added divisiveness that the political reaction to COVID has caused, and she has at times questioned if Austin is the right place to open a business. I couldn't think of anyone better to give a few words of advice and to help ease some of those fears than new Austinite Marty. Yes, to your sister, if you're opening a school and you were based enough to get fired for not getting the COVID vaccine, I'm curious to learn if you're accepting preschoolers and daycare children, because it's very competitive down here. We're looking.
I knew exactly where this was
We're
going.
looking for part-time daycare down here in Austin.
Marty's like, if you're accepting another child, we would love to talk.
Yeah, no, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, that was something when I made it public that I was moving down here. And Cara, I'd actually like to get your opinion on this, having lived in Austin. Like, everybody's like, why are you going to Austin? It's like the liberal city in Texas. I mean, personally, I've been here for 2 months almost. I've never been asked to wear a mask. There are some
Ubers
places.
only.
There are some, even in Ubers, like I go in and nobody says shit.
So I got ratted out in multiple Ubers.
In Austin? Yeah.
No, you just tell them no.
Yeah.
And you just keep going.
Yeah.
That's
but-
how you do.
No, but then afterwards they rat you out to Uber.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Uber makes you like take a picture before you get into the next Uber.
So what we've been doing is like we'll go out, like all the Bitcoiners will go out together, and if somebody says, "Oh, you got to put on a mask," fuck you, we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's the way to do it, but I'm just saying, except like Uber's a fucking multinational corporation at this point, right? So like Austin doesn't get blamed for that. But I'm
No,
just saying,
yeah, it's not Austin, it's Uber.
That's the only time was in Ubers.
Yeah, I mean, also, there are people wearing masks and stuff like that, but there's nobody's forcing anybody to. I've never been asked.
I think people should be able to wear masks if they want to wear
Yeah,
masks.
I have no problem with that either. And
I just don't think that we should be forced to wear them.
yeah, there's my sister's down here. She's trying to get a job in the restaurant industry, and there are a few places asking if she's vaccinated, and she's like, "What the fuck?" Like,
I'm pretty sure one of the reasons why there is such issues with employment in a lot of these restaurants is because it sucks to be a service worker, and it sucks even more to be a service worker for 8 hours of the day you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Because even a lot of the Austin places where the customers don't have to wear masks, they make the servers wear the masks.
yeah, it's weird down here because it's mixed. There's a lot of places that don't make you wear it, and then there's a lot of places that are not you wear it, but make the servers wear it, and then there's others.
Which I don't like that either. That
Neither do
pisses
I.
me off more. It feels classist.
It is very classist, and it's not logically consistent at all. It's all freaks. It's not about health or safety. It's about control. They want to see how much they can control you. Oh, you'll feel completely normal sitting there eating in a restaurant with a bunch of people with their mask off and think that, oh yeah, the server should have their mask on. Like, they want to see how fucking far they can divide you and how far you'd go to accept
So I don't know if you saw BT Sessions is in there. He's right. Like when Francis came, the bull Bitcoin team, they were just like, "Fuck you." Like Francis is fucking base, dude.
Well, I think you're talking about specifically when when you have to take a picture for Uber.
Yeah, they ask you to take a picture with your
They
mask
like
on.
do the selfie and then he just does the.
When he was in Austin,
Yeah.
it's like, fuck,
No, I used to flip the bird. I haven't been asked to do it since BitBlock Boom was the last time I was asked, and then I was like, "Fuck you."
I'm on the red list. I get asked all the time.
I'm a big proponent TSA. Always hated the TSA. If you get in the scanner, just stand there like this. That's my political protest there.
Well, you heard the story that
Yeah,
Gary said, right?
Very effective.
About BitBlock Boom, where they told him to like tell everybody to put on a mask, and Gary said,
Yeah.
"Fuck you."
Yeah,
It's
I
not
was-
happening.
I was
No,
there.
well, the one that was during
Your car-
COVID.
put your mic by your keyboard. That's what's giving me feedback. There we go.
No, you're not talking to me. When we were at BitBlock Boom during COVID, I mean, they were upset with us many times.
Yeah, and this was 2020, not this year.
Because the beauty of BitBlock Boom, Car, have you been to BitBlock Boom?
Yeah, absolutely.
So have we met at BitBlock Boom?
No, I've seen you, but everybody's always crowded around you like you're some TikToker or something.
So BitBlock Boom, the key of BitBlock Boom is the lobby party, right?
Yeah, LobbyCon.
So like, yeah, during COVID, that one at COVID, were you at that one during 2020?
Yeah, I saw you. You're giving out hats, but like I said, everybody's always around you because you're like the coolest dude in the world. So.
But that one we got fucking. They were so mad at him. Marriott was fucking furious at Gary.
yeah, that's the one that he told me the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Side
Gary's
note
a
here.
real one. Respect to him.
Gary is a real one. Shout out to our Bitcoin boomers. I will be attending an energy conference in a couple weeks here, and the it's energy specific about like oil and gas and other energy, and they have a panel for Bitcoin mining in the oil field, and so they sent out an itinerary this morning, like, look over the itinerary, let me know what you think. And I was trolling a bit, but the panel that I'm on is, they had it labeled like crypto in the oil field, and I just responded. I was like, hey, only like one correction to the itinerary. It's Bitcoin in the oil field. She just responded, noted, and change made. I was like, boss, let's go. It's not crypto in the oil field. It's Bitcoin in the oil field. Back to the gentleman who sent
wait.
the shout out, or the lady, could be a lady. Good luck opening the school. If you want to connect your sister and I, and again, if she is offering daycare services, I'm actually very interested. So I would love to meet your sister in a very platonic way. Obviously, I'm married with a child.
He wants to get his child into your school.
If the age, if age appropriate, if he's meeting thresholds there.
I just wanted to do a shout out to the one positive thing still happening in Australia.
Stefan Lavera, Catan.
No, he's out. He got out. He was smart. First of all, to all my Australian brothers and sisters, get the fuck out. Just do it. Convince your family. Do a one-way trip. Don't go back. You got to make the move at some point, and if you don't make it now, your opportunities are closing very quickly. But considering you will probably not do that until after this weekend, Bitcoin Bush Bash, their meetup is happening this weekend. So if you go to bitcoinbushbash.info, you can find out information about that.
Shout out to our Australian freaks, and the Bitcoin Bush Bash has been going on for quite some time. Shout out to our Australian wizard, Murundi. Lock
I
up
heard
the
these
sisters.
meetups are actually fantastic.
I have as well. Get out in the bush, talk Bitcoin. Is that a good Australian accent? I don't think so. I'm sorry for insulting any Australian freaks out there with my terrible accent.
I don't think you can insult them any more than their government has already insulted them.
It's true. It wasn't awkward, but then I know, Justin. I did
And
make
Marty,
it
you
awkward.
always do that.
I'm sorry. It's
It's like I have connection issues. I come back, he's talking about me coming.
that wasn't awkward. That was just funny.
I wouldn't know. I had connection issues.
You'll hear it. Software updates. LND version 0.14.1 beta has been released. We talked about this last week. This is do not download version 0.14.0. 0.14.1 fixes a bug that was released with version 0.14.0. Mercury Wallet version 0.4.56 has been released. Join Market version 0.9.4 has been released. Blue Wallet version 6.2.13 has been released. Spectre Desktop version 1.7.2 has been released. Umbrel version 0.4.9 has been released. Passport version 1.0.8 beta has been released. A lot of software updates this week, freaks. Hexa Wallet version 2.0.5 has been released.
That's a good release.
Disclaimer, Matt's an advisor of Hexa Wallet. Simple Bitcoin.
Am I supposed to step in when there's comments to be made?
I'm fucking with you, dude. Why is this a good release?
That's a good release because Swan got integrated, so it's like basically the first Swan app. So if you have a Swan Bitcoin account, you can just auto DCA directly. You can auto stack directly into your self custody Hexa wallet. It provides a nice little like noob entry into it, and the next update's going to add. Yeah, I'll just tease it. The next update's going to add a gift feature for Christmas. So you can do self-custody gifts where if they don't redeem the gift, you get the money back.
Hell yeah. Hexa Wallet version 2.0.5. It's the update with these features. Again, simple Bitcoin wallet version
and
2.
Thank you for the disclosure.
You're welcome. Hey, we're always going to disclose to the best of our abilities here.
Yeah, we're gonna this until this whole podcast is just disclosures.
Simple Bitcoin wallet version 2.4.22 has been released. Immortan version 0.5.7 has been released. Bitcoin Dev Kit version 0.14.0 has been released. Nix Bitcoin version 0.0.59 has been released. And Joinbox version 0.6.4 has been released. As always, you don't have to go rush to update these. These updates are out there. If you did not listen to us telling you not to download LND version 0.14.0, you probably do want to go rush and download version 0.14.1. But outside of that, you can just go.
In general, if you're running LND, you should probably update ASAP whenever they release an update.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one, that would have been a bad idea. But usually, I don't know. Tread with caution, but all the updates are in the show notes. Special shout out to Spiral Wallet that's in pre-release right now. And they're testing paynims and two-person uncoordinated coin joins, a.k.a. Stonewall 2X and Stowaway.
Hell yeah.
So Craig Raw is continuing his hustling of going through the Samurai stack and re-envisioning it for a desktop world, fully compatible with anyone who's using Samurai Wallet. So that's dope.
Craig, crushing it. Speaking of crushing it, our good friends at Nodl have launched a Lightning-only product.
The Natalito.
The Natalito. Light.
They refuse to call it the Natalito.
So you had that in the show notes. That's why you're trolling them.
I do.
You're trolling them in the show notes. The Natalito is what Matt wants to call it.
I was trying to troll them through you, but then I couldn't help myself.
It's Nodl Lite. It's a lightweight plug-and-play Lightning node made for Bitcoin merchants from developing countries. The product aims to enable true financial sovereignty in a more convenient way. We are big fans of the Nodl team. They've been working hard and building incredible products for years, and I'm very happy to see them releasing this. Look at that thing, the Natalito.
So this thing it's a cool concept. It's a really cool trade-off balance that they're doing. I'm going to have both AskWoo and Keto on Dispatch this week to discuss it at length. But the general premise is that it is under $100. It runs Lightning. It runs an LND full node on the device, but it connects out to shared Bitcoin Core and BTC Pay. So you're not running Bitcoin Core and BTC Pay on your device, but you're holding all your keys for your funds.
Oh yeah,
to keep costs down.
I like this. This pick is sexy. This is, I imagine, in El Salvador. Just guessing. As
Yeah,
always,
that pick is in El Salvador.
it is December 2nd, the year of our Lord 2021. And you know what that means. We get a new update on Janine's This Month in Privacy for November 2021. Short month in terms of stories covered. She talks about the FATF travel rule updates, the state of Lightning, a future under central bank digital currency, privacy tools added to Bitcoin wallets, and financial sovereignty through mining. Those are the topics of November 2021 from Janine's This Month in Privacy. Oh, no, this is October 2021. Do we have the right one? Did you link to the right one? Why does it say October 21? Is that
I think. Wait, how many? What is in there? It's she was late.
she
I
was
think
late?
she was late.
Okay. So this is
I think
October.
this is the most recent one.
Yeah. Shout out to Janine.
She did apologize for being late.
You know what, Janine? I forgive you.
Yeah, this is the most recent one. Because I remember the moth or butterfly or whatever the fuck that thing is.
Okay.
What is that? Is that a moth or a butterfly?
That's a moth. Come on, dude. It's obviously a moth. It's not a butterfly. Some freak's gonna hop in the comments like, Marty, you're so wrong. This is worse than your Clown World call.
It's like, this is a special Arizona butterfly.
That's all we got on the list. I know Carr's got a lot of work to do for the block party tonight, so we don't want to hold him too long. But do you have anything to riff on?
Ticket prices increased for Bitcoin 2022 in 5 days.
Ooh. Had to get it in.
So don't
Getting
say
it
I
at the
didn't tell
last
you.
minute. Getting it at the last minute.
What?
Bitcoin 2022, Shelly. I mean, I was wondering if we're going to go a whole episode without it. You got it.
Well, I said that I'm gonna try and only shill it when the prices are increasing.
Okay. All right. 5 days,
So-
9 hours, 4 minutes, and 7
Marty,
seconds.
do you remember the discount code I have?
No.
Discount code open source,
There it is.
21% off. Do not share it on Twitter, otherwise the discount code will get canceled. Do not share it on Twitter. Discount code will get canceled if it's shared on Twitter.
It's immediately going to get shared on Twitter now.
And me and Marty do not get anything for that discount code.
No, we don't.
That is just Matt finagling a larger discount code than anything else that's available. So do not share that.
Don't ruin it for the other individuals out there who want to go and want to.
I personally tweeted it out, and then I was told I wasn't allowed to tweet it out for what it's worth. But
Matt. I'm excited for the block party, Car.
I'm very excited about the block party. I wish I was going to be there.
I wish you're going to be here too.
Oh, check this out. What do you think about that?
Ray Liotta.
That is fucking dope. So you have 100 of those masks, and you're going to be walking around Austin in them?
Yeah, so they're gonna put those on so that way we can have like Bitcoiners out there in full force. I mean, I feel like
fucking
that's
love
the
it.
only way they're gonna take us seriously, right? With Ray Liotta, Laser Eyes.
I think we call Ray Liotta Laser Eyes Lay Riota. We switched
Is that mask compliant on commercial air flights?
I think so. I'm gonna try it when I go home.
Oh,
for
could that be a
Christmas.
mask that you use for?
I'm gonna try. I'm certainly gonna try when I go home for Christmas.
You're like walking through TSA with a fucking laser eye.
Car, no, you can't use that on a plane. I'm just fucking with you. You can't use that on a plane. It's not OSHA. It's not OSHA kosher.
We have the Nash Bitcoiners meetup that all three of us are going to be at
Next Wednesday.
next week.
I'm so
on
it's
Wednesday.
so gonna be amazing, dude. Mills is in town too, and yeah, she's amazing. I can't wait to meet you, man.
Mills is the co-host of Nash Bitcoiners and a good friend, apparently, of all of us, and she's awesome.
Now I feel comfortable doxing her. She was the person I was referencing earlier when I said I was hanging out with people that you like.
Oh, I do like her a lot, so that actually fits really well. But yeah, she's fantastic, and Nash Bitcoiners this month will be focused on Bitcoin mining, and we have a shit ton of heavy hitters coming in. Econo Alchemist is coming in, Diverter's coming in for it.
Shout out to-
Marty, Carr.
shout out to Econo for joining the upstream data team.
Yeah, congratulations, brother. Well deserved.
Yeah.
He's also Compass is paying for consulting if you get your miners shipped home if you're delayed with Eco.
Oh, maybe we should mention that. And we a lot of people tweeting still.
Wait, first of all, if you're on Compass, you should probably just get them shipped home and have Eco consult.
Yeah. There's never been a problem with shipping miners if you want to get them home. There are delays at the South Carolina facility specifically that are being worked through. They've worked through a lion's share of the backup there. They have a few hundred left to go, and they are working on making sure this never becomes a problem again in 2022 by creating redundancy in their hosting partnerships. They want to get back to buy and plug in within 72 hours for all their customers. Is it a Ponzi scheme? I don't believe so. I don't think so. Matt, what are your thoughts after our conversation?
Not your hardware, not your hash.
Yeah, obviously.
I honestly do not think that Compass is trying to fuck people, and I think that they made some mistakes. And they're trying to make them right. The transparency can be better. I would not buy a miner through them.
You would not buy a miner through them?
If you have it delayed. Oh, if you still have your miner delayed, they're offering a year free hosting, which I think is as far as compensation, that's a pretty good compensation. I mean, it's like almost $2,000 worth of electric costs. But I think you should just get it delivered to home. If you still are waiting, you should get it delivered to home and just have Eco walk you through it, and they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
And I would not buy from them right now. I would wait to make sure that everything clears up first.
You would not buy a miner, even though they never had like delivery problems with their ASICs?
I would use like Kaboom Racks or Mine Farm Buy and just buy a miner through them instead.
Okay. Well, you heard it here from Matt.
And I would just wait it out because I would have. I mean, because like think about it, like if you're buying like an S19, which first of all I wouldn't buy an S19.
Why
I don't
not?
even think they're selling What's miners, are they?
They have in the past. I don't know if they have any availability now.
I don't. Right now they're just selling S19s. I wouldn't buy an S19 over a What's miner. And so like if you're buying an S19, you're paying what, like $13K right now or something like that?
I'd be interested to see where the pricing is now that the prices of Bitcoin has been hovering.
I don't just like send $13K to just like random people. Like that's a lot of money.
Are they random people?
No,
What's the
I mean,
difference?
I'm just saying like I would be very critical before I don't know.
Yeah.
Just trying to be honest here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's never been a problem. I mean, again, I'm not trying to like crazily defend Compass here. But
Yeah, $13K.
That's a What's Miner M30S++. I've never had it. If you buy an ASIC on Compass, it's been delivered in time. But yeah, I can understand if you don't want an S19. Yeah, I bought a couple of M30s a couple of months ago. They were around like 9,400. So yeah, prices have gone up.
I love you, Greg. I'm gonna have gigabit internet next week, so fuck you.
Matt seems to
And,
be
like,
using Benadryl.
I'll have a different backdrop too.
I'm gonna miss that backdrop. I like that one.
I can just bring it with me.
Happy Compass customer here. All right, it's good to see.
There's a lot of happy Compass customers. It's either like happy or horror story, and all the horror stories are that South Carolina facility.
Yeah. They had insane growth in 2020. Disclaimer: they're a sponsor of this podcast.
And they're well aware.
All right.
Anyway, guys, enjoy your block party. I love you both.
Wait, what are we gonna
I
do
look
next
forward
week?
to What?
What are we gonna do next week? Are we record in person? I gotta figure out flights.
I mean, if Carr is going to be there,
I'm driving up with Michael.
Carr's
So.
gonna. Yeah, Carr's driving up with Michael. Don't schedule your flight back, Marty, on Thursday until. Put some buffer in there for Rabbit Hole Recap,
Okay.
and I have a spot where we can record it live,
All right. I'll do that. I'll make my wife aware.
and we'll have Carr there, and we'll just do it. We'll rip it live.
Yeah. We'll rip it live. Car, which Michael are you driving up with?
I'm driving with my car,
Tanguma.
so I can take all this with us.
Oshi Michael or?
Oshi, Michael, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, Oshi, Michael. Tanguma's coming up too.
Oh. It's going to be a fucking party. All right.
Let's fucking go.
I'll see you in Nashville next week.
Enjoy the block party. I love you both. Stay humble, stack sats.
Peace and love.